RPG a Day 2017, Day 8. And today's question is, what is a good RPG to play for sessions of 2 hours or less? And when I first read this question, I originally kind of read it wrong. What I thought it meant that what was a good RPG for a 2 hour game kind of thing, thinking of one shots in my head and that sort of thing. But thinking about campaigns where each session lasts about 2 hours, it's hard to come up with a single RPG campaign or RPG book or anything like that that kind of fits that kind of stipulation. For me, that stipulation brings to mind, firstly, to not have more than two players at tops. Like if you have like 3-4 players in a 2 hour sessions per session, in a campaign, there's not gonna be enough time to dive deep into just about anything unless you're willing to make other players kind of spend multiple sessions where they kind of know that there's not going to be enough time to dive deep into my character's personal stuff if we're already diving into that character's personal stuff. So if I were to run something where the sessions were 2 hours long, let's say for time differences, if somebody playing is on like the east coast of United States and one is in South Korea or something like that, the time difference is where one person wakes up early in the morning and one is close to midnight. I can easily see the scenario of having only 2 hours to play per session. What I would do is simply have only those two players as players, no more than that. But if we're really talking about what sort of a game, what sort of campaign, what sort of role-playing game book and setting, would really fit that sort of format where you have that time, constriction there, time restriction there. I would say that the thing that comes to my mind would be to run kind of one shots or run something where the campaign feels like it's kind of collection of scenes. What I would do is pick out something like the World of Darkness core book, so that it's basically a very kind of simple, straightforward, generic system for humans, for regular humans in the regular world, even though that book is meant for the World of Darkness, where besides humans, there's also supernatural creatures there. I would just run a game where there's no need to know a lot of lore and setting information and deal with all sorts of races and a balance of magic or technology and whatnot. Just say something like, okay, this is the year 1995 in Los Angeles, and that's all you need to know. And then maybe have the players be like something simple, something where they have a clear goals in mind. Let's say the players are like police officers, movie examples, and pick out kind of scenes that seem like a lot of fun where you won't have to go too deep into the character motives, like expansive character background. So let's for this session, let's have a chase scene, and then it's about the police cops of the two partners chasing after bank robbers, and you'll spend 2 hours of quality time with vast descriptions and not having to rush through anything, because of the time restrictions or anything like that. Just pick out something that's very compact and something where you don't have to do a lot of like setting exploration or like that sort of thing where you have to study the setting or something like that. Just pick out something you can easily just pick out. And let's say that if this 2 hour restriction would be somewhere like in when you're just meeting new people at a convention or something like that, it's easy to just kind of create a generic stat line for, let's say, a generic police officer, the athletics, the social stuff, the mental stuff that an average police officer would have, and then have the player just fill in the gaps in terms of their personality and those kind of characteristics, and then just jump on it, just jump on the scene, and just start from giving a little setup. Then maybe they get the call from the radio, and they just cruise onto the scene, and just guns start blazing, and it becomes intense and stuff like that. And maybe next time it could be like a hostage situation. Maybe next time it could be something like that different. You could look at stuff like oh, there's RoboCop there. What about if the mayor is actually been taken hostage by some maniac who wants he wants a new sports car, and he's threatening people with an Uzi and stuff. How do you deal with it? That sort of stuff. Get like setups like that. Whatever comes to mind, and whatever is kind of easy to just grab and adapt into your little role-playing session there. When it comes to campaigns, I would say if 2-hour sessions were the only way to go, like I would really want to play with certain set of people, and 2 hours would be the absolute maximum that we could squeeze in. There's so many people I want to play in this world, and I tend to have only a limited amount of time to how many campaigns I can have at the same time and deal with. If I would be in that situation, I would most likely just kind of look for a different group, because 2 hours is an incredibly measly amount of time, really. There's no time to bullshit around about anything. There's no time for every joke, every off game kind of thing that happens. Everything like that feels like it's taking away from the precious time you have to play your session. So that's already like a situation where I feel kind of anxious, constantly staring at my stopwatch, kind of like how many minutes do we still have left, and then rushing through stuff because you're thinking like, oh, we only have 15 minutes left, and then you run something that should take half an hour in 10 minutes because you're rushing through it. So that's never fun. It's never been fun to have those kind of restrictions when it comes to time and stuff. So I think that's all I have to say about that, really. I don't think I have anything further to expand on it. So yeah, that's what I think about it, and see you tomorrow for day 9. That's a great stout. It's a Icelandic stout. Garun. Good stuff. Good stuff.